All right, what's up, you guys? Welcome to the first live stream of March. I don't know, man, I haven't streamed in over a month. What's going on, everybody? And of course, tonight's live stream is dedicated to none other than our beloved one and only Chuck Norris. So, in memory of Chuck Norris, I just want to share some brief thoughts about him before we get into tonight's topics, just because we all know that Chuck Norris is practically a living legend and probably one of the only live action official G.I. Joes to ever exist. And if you want to customize a Chuck Norris G.I. Joe classified figure, you could literally use the G.I. Joe classified, what's his name? Outback figure. You can use the regular one or the Tiger Force version, whichever one you prefer. But otherwise, just as a quick little backstory, this is just one of those things where I still haven't even processed him leaving, because obviously there's a bunch of memes of, sharing that, Chuck doesn't, he's basically immortal at this point. So one of the best memories I can share with you guys involving Chuck Norris is the fact that when I was a lot younger and back in the 90s, early 90s, we would all watch, or should I say, we would be in the kitchen like on a Sunday morning, like early Sunday morning, like say 8 or 9 a.m., having breakfast like with the family and stuff. And one of the best memories about that was there would always be like this yellow warm glow of like the early sunrise kind of thing, like beaming through my window, at least through the kitchen window, and it would kind of like just make the whole kitchen become so radiant. And then on top of that, my family, especially me and my father, would sit there and watch Walker Texas Ranger while eating breakfast and just kind of laugh and enjoy about how crazy that show is. If you haven't seen it, I mean, it's bizarre. But anyways, just losing him is just one of those things where I'm losing like more and more icons as we all get older, because when it comes to people that I've lost in the sense of celebrities or icons and legends, this is not the whole entire list, but there's people like Chester Bennington, because he was my favorite singer from Linkin Park. We lost Robin Williams. Actually, I have a whole list of people here, which is this will be helpful. One second. Here we go. So yeah, so Chuck Norris, of course, is the latest one. Chester Bennington, my favorite singer from Linkin Park. Then we have Cary Tagama, who is from the Mortal Kombat 1995 Shang Tsung movie. And then Jason David Frank, who is the original Green Ranger. Robin Williams, James Vanderbeek from Dawson's Creek. Obviously, Robin Williams was Ms. Doubtfire and so many other more iconic characters. Then we have Matthew Perry, otherwise known as Chandler Bing. Right? That was his name? Yeah. Then we have Kevin Conroy, who voiced Batman. Then we had, what's his name? Val Kilmer, who played Bruce Wayne in the 94 Batman film. And then Sam Rivers, who is one of my favorite musicians or bassists from the band Limp Bizkit. So, yeah, I mean, so many people lost throughout the entire, or even Paul Walker, but that was like many years ago. But speaking still more in his loss, so many of my favorite icons and people just leaving, and it sucks, but it is what it is. Anywho, what's going on, everybody in the chat? Welcome, Miss Alan Balcom, Bill Lionaire. We have Russell Terrell, who says, I need a distraction tonight, shitty weekend, and today at work. Let's go, Shark. Hell yeah. We're going to hopefully have some fun tonight. Welcome, Wilfredo. We have Couchboy. We also have, who else? We have Craig, 77983. What's going on, Craig? How's it going? And it says, I'm concerned for Clint Eastwood now. Oh, what's happening with Clint Eastwood? Damn, I don't know what's happening with him. Russell Terrell says Val Kilmer, Doc Holliday, and Iceman. Yeah. I mean, Val Kilmer was in Top Gun, and I mean, that's what he's most noticeable for. But for me, growing up, it was mostly Val Kilmer, or it was mostly Bruce Wayne from Batman. Timothy James, how's it going? What's going on? Thank you so much for joining. And for those that are going to be joining later on the stream tonight, thank you guys for joining as well, or watching later. We have T-Blade. What's going on, brother? Thank you for joining as well. Yeah, as you guys can see from the thumbnail, it's been quite an interesting month of March for G.I. Joe Classified, just because a couple of pre-orders went up and quite a few things to talk about, but nothing that I haven't already said. So I'm going to have you guys kind of take over the stream in the sense of share your thoughts on what you thought or what you enjoyed or didn't enjoy about the latest pre-orders and figures that leaked, which Hasbro has not even announced yet, which should be crazy. A Romo, what's going on? He says, "What's up, Shark? I hope we didn't miss much." Absolutely not. We just started, so you're good, man. You're right on time. Thank you for joining, A Romo. Russell Terrell says, "Nope, it just started." Okay, yeah. We have Christopher Bouchard with the $5 channel donation, starting off the first stream of March strong. He says, "What's up, Shark? And lucky you got that Savage Toy Atlanta figure. I want that blind bag sword." Yeah, huge shout out to Savage Crucible for sending over that figure. The Naraka, the Undying figure. I had no idea that was even coming. It was just one of those things where I have a separate email. So one day I was just checking my email and I was like, what the hell is this? And then it just said like your figure has shipped. But I was like, I only ordered like wave 3. So I was like, I don't know what figure was out yet already. So then I went outside, got the box and opened it. And I was like, holy shit, it's the Toylanta exclusive or the Toylanta debut or unrevealed figure. So I was like, yeah, really cool. That blind bag sword though, man, freaking awesome. Huge awesome sword. Definitely want to I still need to get the Bryn what is it, that Lynx figure that was from ZoloCon. That was a really cool figure. But yeah, so it should be on their website in another few months, so I'll get it by then. But yeah, Savage Crucible, man, thank you guys so much for supporting the channel. Thank you guys for being fans of the channel and such great people, great people. You know, I talked to I believe his name is Rob. Then we also have Nikki Nicole Customs, all part of the Savage Crucible team. So really amazing team. Thank you so much, Christopher Bouchard, for that $5, man. Starting the stream off real strong. I appreciate that. Couchboy Wiffle says Compendium tomorrow. Pre-orders are out now. No streams, no word from Hasbro about it. Just dropped it with no regard to the fans. Yeah, 100% agree. What's up? Oh, he said, "Hey, Romo." Okay, Couchboy says, "Hasbro checkout address and phone number sucks. I miss drops every time. Night 4 Zartan, Scooby-Doo, Dire Walk of Jaye." That's a funny name. All missed on Pulse. Garbage app in sight. Yeah, you know, there's quite a lot of people leaving comments. And again, this is probably just on my channel of people saying like, what is the point of being a Hasbro Pulse member when it still sells out? And those are frequently asked questions, not just hopefully on this channel, but probably on Hasbro's customer service, because people are paying, you know, some type of price to be a member of Hasbro. And even though one of the incentives of being a Hasbro Pulse premium member is the fact that you have access to pre-order a figure an hour before general public, but the fact that it still sells out, that's where people or collectors get really upset. So I guess we'll talk about that soon. Russell says Crazy Legs and Zap will be delivered tomorrow. Nice, man. Congrats. Zap, yeah, Zap almost is the last figure of the, well, not really, but he's one of the last of the original 13, because once Zap is out, we will have Flash and Grand Slam, and no one knows where the hell those two are at the moment. Kickstarter for hardcover comics Skybound tomorrow. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I'm not really a Skybound comic reader, because for me, it's like I'm trying to dive back into the original Marvel run, because I think that's good for me to refresh my memory of G.I. Joe before I dive into like a brand new story for it, and especially with Skybound and doing all their new storylines and roughly new designs for characters. You know, so Otherwise, one of the crazy things that I've seen over the past week was the fact that so many collectors were starting to find the G.I. Joe Classified Legacy Series Action Soldier at their Walmart. That is crazy because those figures aren't even up for pre-order yet. They were only revealed at Toy Fair, and the fact that those people are finding like multiples and like you can just Google it. I'm sure other YouTubers already talked about it. There's probably some GI Joe classified Reddits if you want to check that out, but people are finding the Legacy Series Action Soldier. And based on people's views that are on the socials who have already found their figures in the wild at their Walmarts, they shared that the figure is like mixed reactions. It's not like the greatest figure, but it's not like a weak figure either. It's kind of like right in the middle, and they shared their thoughts, and I think they were all pretty reasonable thoughts on that. So, Alan says, still need a classified Zap. If I ever come across one, because I feel like some people have found Zap and Crazy Legs at their local Walmart. So if I ever come across one, I'll see if I can hook you up with that. Chris Bouchard says, can't wait for episode 12 of Samurai Troopers tomorrow. Hell yeah, man. Almost there. Can't wait. Jerk says, wetsuit is $18 on Amazon. Oh, shoot. All right, for those that need a wetsuit, you could see wetsuit on Amazon for $18. Thank you so much, Jerk, for informing everyone. So yeah, if you guys still need a wetsuit, he's on Amazon for $18. If he's still there by the end of the stream, I'll post a link on my post tab page. Hopefully it's not sold out by then, but for those that are on the stream, I guess you guys will get first dibs in knowing that it's $18 on Amazon, which is a good price for that figure. Alan says they said they did a good job with that figure. Yeah, I mean it's fine. I think it's like I said before about that figure. It's and we'll talk more about it once they reveal like official product shots and stuff. But I always thought that legacy figure is like a, what do you call it? Like a higher. I would like to call it like a higher ranking figure from the original green shirt army builders, the retro ones. Benedict says, "What's up, Shark? Took a break from classified." Yeah, and rightfully so, man. Nothing wrong with taking breaks. I don't know about you guys, but for me, 2026 is such a slow start for just toy collecting in general. Like, I know a lot of you guys probably collect so many other bigger and better things, but when I saw all the reveals from Toy Fair, which they have like the bigger named companies, I wasn't too thrilled about a lot of the stuff that was released. I mean, obviously this is the GI Joe Classified channel, but before we get into all the main topics, of course, that you're all here for, I didn't really see much that I was interested in, which thankfully is good for the wallet. Other than maybe like, we reached kind of like this really weird rock bottom of collecting where NECA is doing Sesame Street, or even they're teasing McDonald's figures. So I'm just like, wow, that's where we've come to at this point, doing McDonald's figures. And there's nothing wrong with it. I think they look really great, but it's just, man, like I feel like a lot of toy brands have covered so many different properties at this point where everything is just really repetitive. The cycle is just going, in circles, and that's just me. Like, I feel like the only thriving companies right now, in my personal opinion, are the ones that are doing Kickstarters, the ones that are doing like brand new figures. We have like Robo Skull Skeletron, great brand. Savage Crucible, great brand. Animal Warriors of the Kingdom by Spurrow Toys, great brand. What else? I mean, there's a lot more that I'm missing, obviously, but you pretty much get the point. So yeah, so I'm very interested in seeing like all of these. Oh, like Meta Travelers is shipping soon, so that should be really fun. So those companies, are even like Nacelle, they're doing like Biker Mice from Mars and other 90s properties. So yeah, I'm really happy about that. Jason, welcome to the chat, says the Viscera with Raptor looks like it may have limited articulation. Remember the first Firefly, that god-awful vest? I mean, yeah, a lot of people didn't really like that Firefly figure, but I thought it was detailed pretty well. That Firefly, surprisingly, from Cobra Island is one of my favorite ones. I hate in-store, but pre-orders like Coco Face Legacy, Coco Disney, not Cobra Leader. Says Couch Boy. McDonald's has toy list with Happy Meals. McDonald's pushes product. Steven Gulama, welcome to the chat, says I'm looking forward to the Valiverse. Oh yeah, Valiverse, that too, him too. He's doing some pretty cool figures too. I think he also teased a new figure called Malice, or I think it's like a re-release of a previous figure but updated. So that was really cool. The Black is also doing pretty cool. So yeah, I feel like all those all these new toy lines are just surpassing all these other bigger corporations. Like, you know, because Mattel will always be known for like their wrestling, and I guess they're doing Ninja Turtles now, right? And so with Power Rangers, like we've seen all those brands like be milked to death at this point, which is great if you're a big TMNT or Power Rangers collector, and you know I am too. But you know, there's just I don't feel like collecting so many of the same stuff over and over. So, but you know, you got the Masters of the Universe figures, and then GIJOE Classified, Transformers, Star Wars, etc., etc. So, yeah. Welcome Joshua to the chat. Says, how much did I miss? Nothing really. I'm just briefly talking about some random crap. Christopher Bouchard says, new Kickstarter on Tuesday, the Ash of Oath. Yes, I did see that. I will do a video on that on the SHARKNEWZ Extra channel, so hopefully that should be fun. Then we have need to go out, says Russell. All good, brother. Well, I'll still be here. Don't worry. Jason says, oh yeah, Nacelle is also doing Star Trek for sure. It's just getting started. I had that big vest on Firefly with that figure, and all right. So let's go ahead and talk about all these new figures that dropped in the past, what was it, last week? Welcome, Derek Holloman. It's good to see you, brother. Happy to have you. So up first, let's talk about Professor ROTTCLAW. Now, for those who have not read the Professor ROTTCLAW bio that they, like the file card that they shared on their socials, if I remember correctly off the top of my head, it shared that he, as a kid, was very invested in dinosaurs and he was really obsessed with them. And then he was also a, what do you call it? Like a paleontologist, or at least working within the university. But then what ended up happening was he got too obsessed with dinosaurs to the point where the universities kicked him out and something like that. And then that's when he discovered or learned about Cobra and realized that the only person that can help his obsession with creating dinosaurs would be Dr. Mindbender. So this guy teamed up with Cobra and is now genetically creating dinosaurs, which is actually a really, really, really cool storyline. So I actually do like that bio. Now, would the bios be a lot better if they were actually on the packaging of the box art? Because that would be really great. Because imagine, even if you hate Professor ROTTCLAW, if you don't like this figure, it could be one of those things where let's say you see it at Walmart or Target and you're just like, man, I'm not really a fan of this figure, like I have no attachments to dinosaurs or whatever. But then you turn the package around, you see the file card, and you read what I just told you about, and then that can be like, wow, well, that's actually a really cool story for this character, so maybe I'll probably buy it. So then, you know, like it's kind of like a win-win kind of thing, because the bios or file cards really do help sometimes getting figures, because they make the figures look a lot cooler, in my opinion, depending on if the designs are not part of your choice. Derek Hallman says, my 5th Royal Guard arrives tomorrow. Yeah, speaking of Royal Guards, I actually saw a few of them at my Target like a couple of weeks ago. It was that or sci-fi. I haven't seen a sci-fi figure in a very long time. Or actually, I've never seen sci-fi because the East Coast sucks. So it was either that or the Royal Guard, and I decided to pick up sci-fi instead. So, and plus with Royal Guard, he was like $42, and then when I scanned it, all the taxes and all the crazy shit, it just it shot up to like freaking like 47, 48, almost like $50. And I was like, what the hell's going on here? So I was like, I'll get Royal Guard at some point. We have Sendel Christian. What's going on, brother? Says Shark, the realest guy in the room. How you doing? I am doing great, man. We had some crazy rain earlier today. It was freaking awesome. How are you doing, Sendel? Shout out to Sendel Christian, one of the most amazing subscribers I've had since the old channel. So thank you, Sendel, for being here on all platforms, man. I really do appreciate it. And also, Sendel Krishnan is, I believe, a doctor, so he's out there saving lives. He's a real G.I. Joe. So awesome to you, Sendel, man. It's good to have you here. Steve Gulama says, Professor is a pass for me. Looks cool. Probably get him on discount and turn him into a Dreadnought crystal meth cook. That's funny. Yeah, you could. And he does look like Viscera from WWF or WWE, like the tag team Midian and Viscera, for those that are wrestling fans out there. Jason says, I'm getting this figure, going to jam out the rat out of the cellar and mess up some Joes. Nice, nice. Zoran the Barbarian says, hi, Sharky Poo gang. Oh, God. How's it going, Zoran? Good to see you. Benedict says, I'll pick up this on sale. This guy's going to be Ollie's special. 65 degrees in Atlanta. Jerk guy says, got mine for 20% off with the Target app. Oh, that's awesome, man. Good stuff. Russell Terrell says, going back to the other companies out there, I had to pre-order all of the Factory Entertainment Battlestar Galactica. Serious FOMO if I didn't. Yeah, man. I mean, if it's like a brand where you know that they've never done figures before, I think that's like a win-win. Couchboy says, Cowboy Deadpool and Royal Guard moved up to 4.2 and 326. Yay. Couchboy says, Legacy Skeletor face like Coco in Disney movie. Coco at Walmart, but not on pre-order, adding him with me. What the F, Hasbro? Yeah, I mean, how is Hasbro's customer service for those of you that haven't had a good time with them? However, one of the cool things I will say about this Professor ROTTCLAW figure is the fact that they gave you that alternate head. So it's not like one of those things. So if you look at it from my perspective, even if this figure is a pass, and we'll talk about Zanya later, but this is one of those things where so you buy one and you have Professor ROTTCLAW. So that's cool. And then you have the dinosaur. Now we can exclude the price because I've already made a video about the price and how much I hated it. But if you think about it this way, it's a pretty interesting concept, because now let's say if you were to come across this like at Targets or Walmart, or you buy like a lot of multiples for whatever your reasoning is, now you don't have to worry about having multiples of unnecessary or unneeded things, because, for example, when you pre-order Zanya, like, yeah, the whole point is a Swampskier and one Zanya figure, but then you're also getting multiple Zanyas depending how many Swampskiers you bought. But for here, the highlight is that because it comes with that alternate Paleo Viper head sculpt, you can buy as many of these as you want, and not only are you army building the Paleo Vipers, which is cool, even though they all share the same bodies, which kind of sucks because you want to have like the Vipers be a little bit different, but it is what it is. But you're also getting a bunch of dinosaurs. So you're getting like true army builders, and you're getting dinosaurs the more you buy these, without having to say, oh, what do I do with this extra figure that I don't want? Because all you really need is one Professor ROTTCLAW, and then the rest can be army builders of the Paleo Vipers and the dinosaurs, which really does, I think it works. But again, I've already shared how I didn't like the price, so that's kind of hefty. But like, we've seen figures like Desert Scorpion go on sale at Walmart, and a lot of people were sharing comments saying that this figure will most likely go on sale as well. So there's a very good chance that it will. We have Crimson Cobra Commander. Welcome to the chat. Good to see you, brother. He says, "Hey Shark, what are you most excited for out of the announced figures so far?" Um, by announced, do you mean the confirmed figures or the ones that just went up for pre-order? And Antonio, welcome to the chat, brother. Good to see you here. Says not a fan. Crimson Cobra Commander says I got 3. Aspenair, welcome to the chat. Good to see you. Says thought it was a Dino Rider crossover at first. Yeah, I mean, I forgot the original name of it, but there is a GI Joe crossover with dinosaurs from back in the day. I just don't remember what the name of that one was. Benedict says a Diretech Paleo Viper would be great. Oh man, don't give Hasbro ideas. Crimson Cobra Commander says confirmed names. Okay, give me 1 second. Oh man. All right, Thousand Wolves, welcome to the stream. How's it going? Hold on. As for the already confirmed figures, I'm really curious to see how Iceberg is going to turn out. And although I'm not the biggest Chabang figure, or like, I don't know what you want to say, like a biggest Chabang fan from Ninja Force, but the Hasbro team did such a great job with Slice and Dice and Budo and mostly all the ninjas, where I'm going to kind of be all in on Ninja Force. So the original Chabang figure actually is like, it's an okay sculpt, like the original O-ring one, but like I said before, if they can elevate Chabang into a really awesome looking ninja, then I think that would be sick. So yeah, so I'm kind of excited for just Iceberg and Chabang, even though like Deep Six will be a very iconic character, but it's one of those things where I'm not a fan of the big Buzz Lightyear suit version. I like version 2 Deep Six with the teal colors. So I think version 2 with the teal colors, that's one I'm most excited for. So yeah, Deep Six is fine, but I'm more just for, I think we'll say Iceberg for sure. And it's also because Iceberg always had some really cool colors, because Iceberg had like that light greenish blue vest with the whole white uniform, because like the vest itself pops out so much within my collection of my O-rings, so that's what makes me love it, because he has like the white hat and the outfit and whatever, but then when you see the tealish, or not teal, like the light bluish green color scheme, that's what makes the figure just pop. And hopefully it's not like muted. I hope it kind of has a little bit of vibrantness to it, so that should be good. And plus, I'm really excited to see like all the accessories, because they teased, or should I say they announced Iceberg back at San Diego Comic-Con, which is last July, and it's March or almost in April, and we haven't seen anything about him yet. So my only thoughts are they're probably going to reveal Iceberg as we get closer towards the Snowcat, just because they want people to really be like, shit, I didn't back the Snowcat, and Iceberg looks freaking amazing. Although it's not going to make a big deal, because if you don't want the Snowcat, then you can just buy Iceberg on its own. But if they do the photography really well and have all of them stand side by side and do a really cool photography scene of all the snow characters together in one battle, and I know Shooting the Galaxy does some really great photography, so yeah, I'm excited to see how that's going to look. Thousand Wolves says Dino Hunters. Wolfredo says Dino Hinters. Benedict says, I need a green transparent dire. That would be really cool. A transparent dinosaur. That would actually be really sick. Couch Boy says, open the door, get on the floor, everybody walk that. Jason says, we are getting repaints and meh figures because Yo-Jojo, they will release so much cool. So I think you mean Yo-Jo June. Thousand Wolf says, yo. Dave McDonald, welcome to the chat, says it's time for Rock Viper. Yeah, Rock Viper is really cool, man. He has a great sculpt. Alan Balcom says, I have called and asked them questions, and although they are helpful, they are dropping the ball, especially on pre-orders. They used to email you and give you a heads up they are shipping. Yeah, man. I don't know what's happening with Hasbro's, I don't want to say customer service, but just the marketing in general. Alan also says, now they didn't, and you find out after, though, the fact that they billed you for the figure. Crimson says, I hope Iceberg comes with a snowboard. That would be really sick. I mean, if they already have the tooling for the snowboard of the Snow Serpent figure, then very possible they'll just reuse that. And they'll probably slap the like G.I. Joe deco on there, or the logo. Couchboy says that dinosaur is not the mama. Jason says we need a Pursuit of Cobra Shock Trooper. Shock Trooper is a really cool design, so I agree with you on that one. Couchboy says a head swap and the dinosaur can be Snake Iosaurus. I mean, you can army build the hell out of these dinosaurs if anyone needs. Antonio says I bought one Snowcat. I mean, one is great for sure, especially because of how much space it takes up. It's like bigger than the HasLab His Tank, so damn. Russell Terrell, welcome back, says, so anyone who collected the Jurassic Park toys can now integrate them into their G.I. Joe world. Yeah, man. Dude, Mattel has created so many awesome Jurassic Park figures, or at least the dinosaurs. Like, yeah, this would really work. Or you can just buy all of those and have those be a part of this too. Let's see here. I recently watched Hooded Cobra. Joshua says, I recently watched Hooded Cobra Commander 78's review of the vintage Chibang, which he hated. I actually didn't see that review, but I should go check it out. But just if I remember correctly of how the figure looked, it's not like the greatest design. So, yeah. I have hope that, or like a lot of optimism that the Joe team will definitely elevate Chibang like crazy, because Slice and Dice were like decent looking O-ring figures aside from the gimmicks or the action features, and the Slice and Dice are easily in my top 10 favorite classified figures because of how much great detail they have. I can imagine people collecting 40 of these, says Antonio. I mean, if you're a big fan of the dinosaurs, yeah, for sure. Couchboy says Flintstones, dinosaurs, Scooby-Doo, Hanna-Barbera are gonna sue somebody. I mean, I forgot who said it earlier. I don't know, it's way back up on the chat, but yeah, the past pre-orders, what do you call it? The past pre-orders were like the past 4 figures that went up for pre-order. They're kind of like, I agree, they're all like meh figures. They're not like the greatest, like holy shit, like I need these figures, but the fact that some sold out more than others, I was like, okay, something doesn't add up here, but it is what it is. So I hope that, for Yojo June should be intense, because so far these are fine reveals. They're just not like, because they already revealed mostly all the main hard hitters, right? So now we're entering this really weird bubble or phase of classified where the Joe team has to really make the designs look appealing enough to buy, even if you're not a fan of the actual character. Crimson says he just put a commercial on your live stream. I'm sorry, man. Antonio says they have other colors of these dinos. But I forgot who said that earlier. But yeah, Dire Tech dinosaur would be really cool. Okay, so Couchboy says Scooby Scarlet is fake as Jordan's. So I guess the Duke is a one-off figure. But while we're at it, let's talk about the next figure that went up for pre-order. So I guess we can say that most of the consensus is that people did get this figure, but a lot of them didn't like the price point, and a lot of them are going to be waiting for a special sale. I don't know if these will be at Ollie's, but I'm sure at some point, like, it probably will. Like, for me personally, this looks more like a $40 2-pack. Because I think, what was this, 52, right? $52 figure. Yeah, for $52 figure for a no-named character, I mean, that's just bizarre in my opinion, but I think at least $35 to $40 would have been ideal. 35 probably be like the lowest end of the stick, but I think at least 40 due to today's inflation prices is probably better than 52. All right, so that is Professor ROTTCLAW. Finally, we can get rid of him because I no longer have to talk about this guy ever again. So now that we're done with him, we can say sayonara to Professor ROTTCLAW because he was good while it lasted. Up next, let's talk about the G.I. Joe Classified Zanya figure with Swampskier, which, according to my latest poll that I did on my post tab page, was the figure that everyone hopped on first. So how did you guys deal with this one? How many did you get? Are you excited for this figure? What are your thoughts on the colors of the Swampskier? Jeremy Claiborne, welcome to the chat, says good evening, everyone. Good to have you, Jeremy. Shellback RC, sorry I didn't see your comment earlier. Welcome to the chat. Says the dinosaur molds came from Mattel. Do they cross? I don't think they cross details unless they bought like a few just to get an idea. Let's see what else we have here. Destro319, welcome to the chat, says bring on the Thunder Machine. Yeah, man, I think the Thunder Machine will have to be the best bet for this year's 2026 HasLab. I know a lot of people may not agree with me in the sense of the Thunder Machine is not a big enough vehicle, but if you remember, they said the same thing about the Snowcat. They said that the Snowcat would be a vehicle where it would be for like retail, but not much a HasLab because of its size. However, the fact that they took a vehicle like the Snowcat and made it into a HasLab, I have no doubt that they could also do that with a Thunder Machine. Because if you realistically look at it, I did a video probably like a few months ago about all the possible scenarios of what HasLabs that the G.I. Joe team can do. Now, I know they usually say like never say never, but you know, the HasLab Sky Striker is definitely something that, you know, Emily has stated before that is way too big for them to do. We already know we're not getting a USS Flag. We already know that a whale is probably not going to happen anytime soon. And then we also know that, what else? Some other bigger vehicles. So if I were to guess the next potential HasLabs, at least for 2026 and 2027, if they continue the route of the G.I. Joe Cobra, you know, back and forth kind of thing, I believe, this is just a guess, right? So if this year they do a Thunder Machine, next year is a Joe vehicle, so they would have to do either the Mauler or Mobat, because then after those two, there's really nothing else like they could really do if they decide to do a Sky Striker. But air vehicles are kind of, you know, aside from the Rattler, but so we'll hold off the Sky Striker for now. But it either has to be a Mauler or Mobat, and then after that, they could either do a I mean, I know this is probably not going to be big, but because at this point, I think they're just going to utilize the concept of HasLabs more than, you know, give us vehicles for retail. So I think they'll probably just do like a hydrofoil as a HasLab. I don't know why they would make it that big, but they could. And then somebody says, hold on, let me go back. Oh yeah, so Jerk says the made to order will be a Havoc too. Havoc would be really cool because we also need cross country, so that would be a really great incentive to have, unless they really screw it up and decide to do another Joe vehicle but in snow again next year and do Havoc with you know, they do Havoc with what's his name, cross country. Let's see here. All right, I got to scroll up on the chat real quick because I'm way behind now. Okay, so Antonio says I just needed one. Jose, welcome to the chat. Says really want her skier, but I don't like her at all. Jerk says one. Joshua says hot topic clerk. Destro says the swamp skier looks bad. Derek Holloman says, got one, only need one, didn't have room for more than one Swampskier. Wilfredo says, just one Zanya. Jerk says, definitely putting the mask on her. Damn. Timothy James says, I got two. Couchboy says, talking about medicine. Antonio says, I'm all in with anything Dreadnoks. Yeah, they're almost done with the Dreadnoks too. That's actually really cool though. Jose says, her head scares me a lot. Crimson Cobra deleted a message. Russell says Hasbro's not listening to their fan base. The skier needs to be a standalone vehicle for all the Dreadnoks. Yeah, which basically goes back to my thought, as I mentioned before. You know, buying, like, let's say, just for the hell of it, because I know this was a freaking $60 figure, but you buy like 5 of these just for the hell of it, right? Now we're gonna see like an influx of Zanyas all over eBay, unless you're someone that like customizes and stuff. But I understand that the Swampskier is the highlight here, and having one Zanya is definitely good for the Dreadnoks. But man, I don't think they really thought that through, or they probably realized that Zanya would be a really terrible peg warmer if she was sold separately, because a lot of people don't really know her unless you read the comics. Therefore, put a character that is kind of a slight deep cut and then put it with a very popular Dreadnought vehicle so people can be like, shit. That could be a scheme from the Hasbro marketing team, probably. I mean, it worked. I mean, people want her, so it worked. Antonio says, but that TM needs to happen. Thunder Machine, why tease it? Jerk says, brown paper bag would be better. Badassery says, Couchboy. Derek says, Thunder Machine could be made to order. That too, yeah. Yeah, I forgot about made to orders. I mean, that would work. Swampskier, I got one. It's overpriced as Crimson. I agree. $60 is way too much for this. Couchboy says, what did he say? I love Zanya. Alan says, I'll get Zanya, but again, not full price. Gonna wait for a sale. Will this figure be on sale though? That's another. I don't know if this one will be on sale. If it is, I'll be really, really, really surprised. Because it's not like a pet or an animal, it's an actual vehicle. Therefore, this one might be a little bit harder to forecast for the future, but we'll see. Timothy says the Thunder. Zoran says the Snowcat is an abomination with its oversizedness. It's brutal. Damn, Zoran is thrashing the Snowcat. Antonio says Hasbro is going to squeeze every penny from our pockets that they can. Thousand Wolves says should be HasLab 2-pack, Thunder Machine, and Moccasin. That would be a lot though. I mean 2 vehicles in one HasLab is intense. But it's a nice concept, but I don't think that'll ever happen. Alan says I'll wait for a good sale and get 2. Derek says Night Raven not happening either. Yeah, because the Night Raven I believe is roughly the same scale as the Sky Striker, maybe a little bit bigger, so definitely not going to happen. If what Emily says is true, that they're not going to give us a Sky Striker because of its dimension and size. Because the Rattler I know a lot of people don't like me saying Rattler because it's a T, not D, but whatever. The Rattler is probably as big of a air vehicle that we'll get. Okay. Jerks, sorry, I won't say it, Zoran. Jerk says they made to order will be Havoc 2. Thunder Machine needs to be made to order, not a HasLab. Timothy says the Thunder Machine would be selling out fast. Oh, absolutely. Because they already completed majority of the Dreadnought, so all that's remaining is literally a Thunder Machine at this point. Thunder Machine and Thrasher, and then all their nephews like Billy Joe and Billy Bob and whatever the hell all those other characters are. Using Snowcat mold. Russell says Skyhawk or Ghost Hawk or whatever is officially called. Skyhawk though, they could just split it in half and put it in the packaging. That might be easier for them. Killer Whale, that says Thousand Wolves. That might be too huge, but we'll see how that one works because we still need a Cutter figure to be released. Antonio says maybe we get the Thunder Machine oh, I already read that. It could happen. It could happen though. Crimson says, I agree, it's possible for a HasLab, but there are problems. There are no repaint potential for a Thunder Machine. That's very true too. So probably not a HasLab. Probably a made to order would make more sense. So yeah, I agree with you, Crimson. Couchboy says, what commercials are they pushing on you? I have no clue what you're talking about. Shellback says Conquest would be the ideal jet for a HasLab. Conquest is an interesting design though. I'm not sure how many people would like it, but it would be pretty cool to have. Derek says Thunder Machine needs to be like the Arctic Hiss. That's true. DJ DC, welcome to the chat, says, can't see it. Shark HasLabs come with at least 3 figures. Thunder Machine really only comes with Thrasher. Only other Dreadnoks is Zanzibar. I just can't see them paywalling Dreadnoks. So, you know, I mean, we've seen the concept of the G.I. Joe team creating brand new characters, or the fact that they could easily give us, let's just, for the sake of conversation, let's say it is an actual HasLab, then yes, Thrasher is the ideal figure that comes with it. But then the other two, I mean, they can bring back patches, they can bring back 2 figures, they can bring back like another driver for the Thunder Machine. I don't know if they want to create a brand new Dreadnought. Who knows? I mean, anything is possible. Russell Terrell says, didn't they say no water vehicles because of the electronics? I mean, apparently that's what's been said a lot. I don't recall which interview that was from, but I do believe they did say that somewhere. Conquest says Crimson. Stigma says, yo, Shark. How's it going, Stigma? Welcome to the chat. Good to have you here. Couchboy says, Swampskier repaints coming soon. Will never be ultimate Zartan. Trust. Merging Line, welcome to the chat, says, I'm surprised we haven't gotten the Skyhawk yet. That's true. Skyhawk, and what's the other one called? The Fang, the Cobra Fang. We haven't gotten that one yet. Jason says, this year's HasLab will be the Stun, Watch and See, Motor Vipers, and Hooded Cobra Commander. But the Stun doesn't seem like super duper massive enough to be a HasLab, though. I mean, if they can pull it off, that'd be crazy, but maybe. Thousand Wolf says, made to order is a Stun. Couchboy says, my name is Jason. Alan says, what would the tiers be? All the Dreadnoks were already released, and the remaining ones would be Dreadnoks most collectors don't know or care about. Yeah, I mean, like I said, what's his name? Billy Bob, Billy Joe, whatever the hell those other ones named. There's like, I don't know, whatever rat name. There's like about 12, 15 of their other like nephews and cousins that they have in the Dreadnoks line, so I'm sure you guys probably know the other names. Antonio says, Shark, we need Zanzibar. We definitely do. But the thing is with Zanzibar is that Zanzibar has the ponytail with the actual horse hair, like in the original O-ring. So they're probably going to have a sculpted on hairstyle, like just molded plastic, which is going to suck because the whole, you know, sometimes when they have like actual like strands of hair that move, sometimes makes the figures look cool, but they're not going to do that. Otherwise, it's going to be like a Barbie. David McDonald says they could offer color changing Zarana and Xandar. Yeah, that would actually been so much better. Having a color change. Well, actually, you guys let me know in the chat. Would you guys have wanted one more Zartan with the Swampskier, but actually is the blue one that came as that exclusive? Or do you think having Zanya was a better call? That's actually a good question. Because I know people would also complain saying that, oh, we already have like 5 Zartans or 4 Zartans. But this one, let's say if this Zartan came with the Swampskier, but he changes blue, it's very similar to the retro one, but they kind of changed up a little bit. Would you guys still buy it because Zartan changes color? Or would you say I already have enough Zartans? Or would you say no, Zanya was a better choice? Okay. Crimson says... Where did Crimson say? Where did Crimson go? Conquest, Warthog, Havoc, APC, and Cobra Maggot. APC would be sick. Couchboy says Machete and Jason mask. Yes, please. Joshua says they might repaint the skier. Yeah, that's a possibility for sure. Thousand Wolf says Zanzibar with the vehicle on Pulse exclusive. Couchboy says we have 8 Zartans. Put her. Oh, I forgot about the freaking Cold Slither Zartan too. Damn. Couchboy says we have a wait, I read that one. Antonio says, I was going to continue to dump money into this line, but I just can't see myself army building anything outside of the Cobra Guards. Crimson Guards. What? Crimson Guards? Russell says she could have been a tier for a Thunder Machine HasLab. That would have been really, really cool. So that I actually 100% agree with you that a tier, Zanya being a tier would have been actually really cool. I would 100% approve that one. If Alan says if, and that is a big if, it would be win both of tiers. Thousand Wolf says the Radar Rat 2-pack has a box XP Retro Swampskier. Yeah, we'll talk about it in a second. She's on Amazon. She'll be on sale, says Antonio. That's true. It could, yeah, maybe. Stigma says, is the Chameleon's turbine blocked by the steering mechanism? Is the Chameleon's turbine blocked by this? I don't think so. I hope not. Okay, let's see here. No tiers for HasLab. Thunder Machine says Thousand Wolves. Tagworm, what's going on, brother? Good to see you. Welcome to the chat. Says, what the what? What did I miss? You only missed Professor ROTTCLAW. Grape, welcome to the chat. It's good to have you here. It says Heart Wrencher and Chaos. Heart Wrencher would be really cool because Heart Wrencher is like similar to, what's her name? Zartan. So I think that would be work. All right, so before we move on to the next one, make sure you hit that like button because it'll definitely help the channel grow. So tonight's stream goal, let's make tonight's stream goal of likes to be 65. If we can hit 65 likes for tonight's stream, because I haven't streamed in over a month, hopefully that would be cool. So tonight's stream goal is 65 likes. Let's see if we can do, because right now we're at 35. They had the concept of Pythona, My Little Pony, Zanzibar Hair, Heart Wrencher, and Chaos, not so well known. Yeah, but if they could really do Heart Wrencher to look really cool, then I would like it. I would have no objections to it. Because now we're reaching a point in Classified where the figures just have to look really good in order for me to buy it. Even if I don't have any connection to certain characters, because like I said, they've already completed a lot of all the other main characters, so we just have to see how that's going to turn out. Because at this point, I don't know how many more Dukes they need to make. I don't know how many more Flints and Snake Eyeses, but because we have another Snake Eyes coming out soon, which I'll do a video on later, but yeah, we'll see. All right, so that is Zanya. So congratulations to those who did pre-order her. A good few of you are saying that you'd probably want to wait until a sale because $60 is a bit hefty for this. But I guess we'll see what happens. So that is Zanya. So congratulations to those who did pre-order her. For those that are going to wait, let's do hope that by November we should get some kind of sale. We'll see what happens. So now we can officially cross Zanya off the list because now she's officially spoken about. So we can move on from Zanya. So now up next, let's talk about probably one of the weakest pre-orders in my personal opinion, which is the Night Creeper Dire Tech Walmart exclusive figure. So what are your thoughts on Night Creeper? Or should I say the Dire Tech Night Creeper? I will say that I'm very happy that Crystal Ball is getting a bunch of army builders because the concept of all these spirit style translucent greens and all these effects and stuff actually makes Crystal Ball look a force to reckon with. So I really do like that concept. I just thought that this figure was so close to being good in the sense of not containing that alternate head sculpt of the squid that came with Crystal Ball, because if it was a brand new translucent green head sculpt, I think that would have helped the figure, even though I don't know if it's sold out or not, but it definitely would have enticed collectors to get it just to make, because you know, you can army build ninjas for Crystal Ball, but adding that one head sculpt really just, I don't know, ruined it for me, in my opinion. Tiger Force Beachhead. Oh my god. Oh, we also have Tiger Force Snake Eyes, don't we? Jerk says pass. Couchboy says walk of shame. Tagworm says they killed me with the Duke. I really wanted that Duke. I was gonna put that that Chumpy in a plastic cover on my wall. I mean, yeah, we're gonna talk about Duke. He's coming up, so hang on for your thoughts about that guy. Still sold out, says Jerk. Antonio says both. Joshua says he's the first Diretech guy I've actually managed to order. Wow, congratulations, man. I'm happy for you. Victor V, welcome to the chat, says I can wait for Night Creeper to go on sale. I just was not in a rush to buy it. I mean, that's valid. Couchboy says he borrowed the boss's mask or he slept over. I don't judge. Antonio says both, brother. Stigma says Creeper made it to eBay real fast. I mean, I don't doubt it. Any figure is going to go on eBay regardless. Blue, gray, and green eyes. Alan says already at 47, bump it to 80 likes. I mean, we're close. We'll get to 65, hopefully. If we get to 65 soon, then I'll bump it to 80. But for now, I think 65 would be cool. Crimson says, I got 2 Night Creeper Diretechs. I mean, yeah. 2... I mean, it does look really nice. I think Night Creeper is a pretty cool character, and I do like the design of him. And especially because he does come with that alternate head sculpt with the gray and the mask and the goggles and stuff. So I would utilize that head sculpt more. So I'd say at least, yeah, I think 2 is reasonable, because let's just say they're like elite of the ninjas for Crystal Ball. Because you also have the Ghost Vipers to accompany Crystal Ball too. So I think even 1 ninja in this would be well too. Benedict says, Diretech reminds me of throwing something together for a homework assignment last minute before it's due. I mean, I wouldn't disagree with that, yeah. I think it's like I said before, we reached a very odd point in 2026 for Classified, because we have seen a lot more new and kit-bashed characters within these first 3 months alone, and we haven't even come across Yojo, June, or San Diego Comic-Con yet. You know, so yeah, so we hit a lot of new, quote-unquote, new characters, which again is not new in G.I. Joe in the sense of Hasbro has always been retooling bodies and designs for characters since the 80s, but my only nitpick is that it's 2026, and with all the money that they're making, they can't, you know, think we're idiots and say, oh, well, you know, you're not going to recognize where this head sculpt came from. GIJOE, welcome to the chat. He deleted his message. Let's see here. Then we have Benny. Welcome to the chat, Benny. Says, I'm a fan of the Diretech Night Creeper. However, I'll wait for it on sale in capital letters. I mean, that's good. There's nothing wrong with waiting for sales, but those who are like complete diehard Classified collectors are... I find it very interesting that there are people out there who criticize and make fun of collectors because they don't buy it full price. I mean, that's wild, man. Timothy says, I like the figure, just not yet. I'll wait for his sale. Zoran says, new for 2026 Swamp Force Zanya. Ooh, or Zanya, sorry. GIJOE says, pass on the Ball Crew extras. I mean, extras I can understand. As long as you have at least a crystal ball, I think that would be cool. Couchboy says, I remember asking eBay sellers, are the eyes green? Is the visor red? Is the crotch black? Oh, back when they had multiple variants. Zombie, what was it? Zombie KLR says, welcome to the chat. I believe this is your first time here, so let's welcome Zombie to the stream. I want a Diretech Shadow Tracker with a Scorpion pet. Oh, yeah, we haven't seen a reuse of Shadow Tracker just yet, and that's one of my favorites. I'm surprised we haven't seen anything with Shadow Tracker just yet. Crimson says, what did he say? I am putting the Cobra head on the Ghost Viper on these. Yeah, that could work. Antonio says, they just couldn't help themselves with this figure. I would have rather had a Trooper. The thing about the Trooper is I've read someone else leave a comment before of saying, like, if they do a Trooper, then people are going to complain saying, how many more Troopers are we going to get? So at the end of the day, you know, we all lose or win-win. I don't even know. Joshua says, I'm in favor for bringing Lovecraft into Joe, which goes back into Destro's Castle Sunbow episode. Is that the one where they found out that Lady Jaye and Destro are cousins? If I remember correctly. Russell says, I just looked at the Yojo website and most of the Cobra vehicles that can be used for HasLabs are air vehicles. Most of the others are really small and would be retail. So yeah, Cobra, so we wouldn't see another Cobra vehicle if, again, they go into the Cobra Joe. So like 2028 would be the next Cobra vehicle reveal. I don't think it's a bad looking figure. Diretech Nightcreeper, I ordered 2. Antonio says, Deep 6, baby. Sundown and Cowboy Deadpool, someone went Western and Pulse. Yeehaw. Sure is. Benedict says $20 is too much for a figure like Nightcreeper. The regular version has been on sale for years. You know, when I went to Target, I actually got my regular Nightcreeper for $12. I don't know how that happened, but I saw it on the shelf. I said, oh, cool, I definitely need a Nightcreeper. I went to go at the scanner, and the lady, I mean, there was no lady there. It was the machines, right? So I was scanning it. It said invalid or error or whatever. So I called, like, the lady who was standing there saying, like, yeah, I want this figure, but it's not scanning or whatever. So she took her little machine thingy and she scanned it, and on her device it didn't say, like, it was showing up in the inventory for Target, even though I had the Nightcreeper in hand. But the funny part was she saw the name G.I. Joe and it kind of like rerouted her to some other $12 figure or something. I don't know what the hell was happening. And then she goes like, yeah, you can just pay $12 for it. And I was like, yeah. I was like, give me that. Benny says, I'm very selective with the figures I buy at full retail price. Show a little patience and you'll see as much people retire from the line, new one picking up. Yeah, man, I think 2025 and 26 was a very big awakening for most collectors because a lot of people will still buy it for full price. But for those that are waiting for sales, I think we've seen a lot of them go on sale. Not every figure for sure, unless it's like a Pulse exclusive or, you know, those con exclusives. But like at least the original standard mainline releases, we've seen a good few of them go on sale. Benji Williams, welcome to the chat. I believe this is your first time here. Welcome, Benji. Says, order 2, gonna try to grab some more when they hit my local Walmart's. Gonna try some Ghost Viper parts on it. Yeah, I mean, by all means, man. Do you guys remember when, for those who ordered like original O-rings or who had O-rings back in the day, all we used to do was, you know, you take out the screw from the back and you kit bash your own Cobra or G.I. Joe. I did that a lot too. I would buy like Leonard Corpse figures from Walmart and just utilize those as jobber of Joes or Cobras and like kit bash broken characters, and that was fun. So you can definitely do that with these as well. It's just, I know for these, I know with these figures you have to like boil them and pop them out with hot water, and like I just don't have time for that. So yeah, so that is Nightcreeper, Diretech, probably the weakest amongst the entire 4 set of figures that were revealed. Let's just hope Hasbro doesn't make this a norm and think we're idiots. So hopefully we could actually get more new tooling and more better new style figures. So finally we can get rid of Nightcreeper off the list, so we can all say farewell to Nightcreeper, because Yeah, same weapons. Like I said, I do like the concept, just that head sculpt sucks. Anyways, so that is Night Creeper Dire Tech. Congratulations to those who bought it. But for those who are waiting for sale, let's hope that you do get it. All right, and now the big enchilada of, we still have a few more things to talk about, but let's talk about the figure that I was surprisingly impressed with it being sold out. And that's none other than Star Spangler's Scooby-Doo. Russell says, wouldn't the 2026 HasLab be Cobra? Yes. So this upcoming year, 2026 should be a Cobra vehicle. Then next year in 2027, it should be a Joe vehicle. And then in 2028, it should be Cobra. So what are your thoughts on this particular Duke figure? Did you guys have any success? Did you lose? What's happening? What happened with this guy? Because he sold out. Whether or not you liked it or not, it still sold out. Maybe Hasbro's marketing did really well with this one, because I could care less about the figure, but my only thing was, if this is like, if you're honoring the 250th anniversary of USA, especially calling it Birthday Duke and all that stuff, I think it would have been really nice if the G.I. Joe team really, celebrated the figure, talk about the figure, talk about why celebrating the 25th, 250th was a big deal, kind of like lead up to its excitement instead of just posting it, like 30 minutes before it went up for order on Walmart and Pulse. But it is what it is. I think it got to people because it's a one-off figure. It was limited on Hasbro Pulse, and it's a Walmart figure. So I think people were just scared to the fact that some of them are probably resellers. I can't speak for everyone, but maybe they wanted to have this mint on card. Maybe they wanted to have this to sell this later on down the line. Maybe they wanted to, have this be like a rare, quote unquote, rare figure. I don't even know what's going to happen with this guy, but I guess we'll see in about a couple of years what the FOMO is for this particular character. Because we probably know that they're not going to do any Scarlet, Lady Jaye, or Flint figure. So the fact that it's a one-off figure, I think that's what drove people to kind of went a little bit crazy. And if you guys remember, there was a funny video I saw of Fred from, or like the Scooby-Doo clan from Family Guy, where Velma, or whatever her name was, she was like Jenkies, and he was like, "You're right, Scooby. We're dealing with one sick son of a bitch." That was hilarious. Zoinks, says Couchboy. Freddy says Antonio. This is a nope, says Russell. Zombie says Duke is still up for pre-order here in Canada. Oh, so you're from Canada. Okay, cool. I got 3. I plan to trade some for figures I'm missing. I mean, you can probably get some really good figures for this guy, probably. So I think you're doing a pretty good job with that one. Crimson says there's one more Night Creeper Arctic version. Really? Is that coming out? An Arctic Night Creeper? Benedict says Pillsbury Doughboy Duke. Timothy says, really, this sold out for real? Wow, because I wasn't feeling it. Long gone, rest in peace. Jose says, sheep will buy whatever Hasbro tells them to buy. Antonio says, I wish I was able to get him. He was gone in less than a minute. Oh, God. Joshua says, I like this Duke. I ordered this Duke, but I would have preferred he had stripes or something more flag-like on the uniform. Yeah, I mean, which reminds me, a lot of people had so many great ideas. Yeah, missing the stripes, missing more, I don't know, USA colors on him or something, or like a camo, kind of like how Starduster had camo. Could have been like a red, white, and blue camo on him or something to kind of give it more of a pop for this figure. Coming with the jetpack that Starduster had, or coming with the American flag to kind of redo like the G.I. Joe 87 animated film intro. I think that would have been really sick. So, um, yeah, there were so many ways that this Duke could have been better or added more, but I feel like they probably would have just cranked up the price because for $28, like sure, whatever. But if they had the jetpack and an American flag, I think that would have easily boosted it up to like 45, maybe 50 or something. I don't know. Loneliest Monk says, what a joke. G.I. Joe says, was on the fence with Rook. Had him in the cart for a while before he sold out. I wasn't disappointed. Well, at least you had him on the cart. Couchboy says, Walmart got 2 Pulse websites, jammed up the address, sold out, typical Pulse, checkout letdown. Joshua says, I'll keep him on card unless Walmart beats him up when shipping. Very possible. That's very true. Can't trust Walmart when they're shipping. At least the card backs are better than the first versions that we got, those flimsy cardboards that we got before. FOMO on the Duke, says Benny. Victor V says sold out. Don't want to pay eBay prices on this, but I would like to at least get one. I'm sure you can probably trade future classified figures for one of these at some point. I don't know what value this would go for in the future, but maybe. Jeans all day, dressed down Duke, says Couchboy. Antonio says this figure is one and done. Crimson says I ordered my Duke, putting him with my Mad Marauders because the blue. Yeah, that could work. Tagworm says, I'm so disappointed about Duke. They killed my patriotism. Oh, man. Somebody came in the chat. Where did he go? Where did he go? Ah, yes. John Brooks, all the way from Ireland. Welcome, John Brooks. It's good to have you, brother. Then we have, hold on. Some people are joining in here. Ionic Blood, welcome. The legend, 666, missed out on most of the stream. What's good, everybody? Welcome, Ionic Blood, the legend. Shout out to John Brooks, who's actually creating some crazy AI renders of G.I. Joe classified figures. I've seen a lot of your posts, man. You're doing crazy work. Sabotage, welcome to the chat, brother. Good to see you. Says Scooby-Doo in the aftermarket is around $100 right now. Holy crap. A $28 figure now going for $100. That's insanity. I guess Hasbro knows what they're doing at this point. Jerk says, does the arm on the left look weird? I mean, he has bulkier forearms. That was probably my only thing, but I think it's just the positioning of it. Russell says there's nothing patriotic about this. I mean, yeah, if you're kit bashing this, you can have a field day with this guy for sure. Stigma says Walmart and Amazon have the worst shipping. Fruity Duke. Okay, got it. Couchboy says no blue and guns, so Arctic guns plus Chinese guns made in China maybe. Could use those oh yeah, I just read that. This is lazy. That is all. Welcome, Liquid Identity. Good to have you here. Man, we got so many legends here on tonight's chat. Freaking awesome. Great to have you guys here, man. By the way, we're almost at 65 likes for tonight. We're at 58. Whoever hasn't liked tonight's video, please go ahead and do so because we still got a few more things to talk about. So let's see if we can hit 65. Antonio says crazy. Dookie is causing fist fights at Walmart self-checkout. I mean, if this guy does happen to show up at Walmart, that would be insane. I mean, it could happen. At this point, classified is so bizarre and it's so unpredictable that I don't even know what's worth selling out. I don't even know what figures come on sale or why they go on sale. I don't even know what figures you don't see anywhere, and then sometimes you'll see like collectors find like a whole batch of 20. Like I know Alan Balcom here on the channel, he sees like 30 Desert Scorpions in his Walmarts, but the other figures, you don't really see. Russell Terrell says if they wanted this to be patriotic, he should have been a true military uniform camo with an American flag. Yeah, I mean, one of the best representations of at least what Super 7 did, which I really appreciated, was the fact that um they had at least four or five, I forgot how many they did, like four or five figures, and they all had like this crazy camo, like patriotic colors on them. And even if that's not your thing, at least it looked and that's a smaller scaled figure, and the fact that this is a 6-inch figure and they still couldn't make it like eye candy or popping enough to be more patriotic is baffling. But you know, it is what it is. But yeah, so I guess some things we'll just never know why they become. I mean, I guess my only reasoning for this being sold out is because it's a one and done Duke. Um, yeah, I mean, it like retro card, fine, whatever, weapons, whatever. Celebrating 250th, fine, that's cool. But I think it's the fact that because it's just a one figure, because you know, like I always like to celebrate fives and zeros. So if classified lasts until the next anniversary of USA, then sure, 300th anniversary, maybe we'll get another figure at some point. Ionic says, I can't stand the rollout of info of figures on a post on Instagram. It's like out of the blue. Yeah, I already shared all my frustrations on a previous video, so I'm not trying to, I don't want to flex my anger. But you guys already know how I feel. All right, so I guess we can put to rest the Scooby-Doo. I mean, like I said, one and done figure. Yeah, what a surprise. The Hasbro team didn't really celebrate 250th the way I would have wanted them to, but I mean, I guess it is what it is. I mean, I don't know what else to really tell you. So that is the G.I. Joe Classified 250th birthday Scooby-Doo Star Spangler Duke figure. We can finally put this guy to rest, even though it came out of nowhere. It leaked on Hasbro Pulse UK, but it is what it is. So there you go. That is the Scooby-Doo figure. Holy shit, Solo Sinner, welcome back to the chat or stream. I haven't seen you in a long time, but it's good to have you here. And he go, whoa, 65 Canadian dollars. He goes, hey Shark, here's at least 65 in super chats for the stream, if not in likes, but you should really get them likes. Holy shit. Thank you so much, Solo Sinner. That is a whopping donation in Canadian dollars. You get a shark heart, and thank you so much, Solo Sinner, man. I really do appreciate that. That is a lot. Really, you don't have to put that much. That's a lot, man. But thank you so much, man. Yeah, you get a shark heart. It doesn't let me pin donations on here, which sucks. But thank you so much, Solo Sinner, man. That is absolutely incredible of a donation. Wow, I'm shocked. All right. Man, Canadian 65. All right. Wow. Thank you. Thank you so much, Solo Sinner, man. That is amazing. Shout out to Solo Sinner, man. You are freaking amazing, man. Thank you so much for that. Antonio says those scalpers have the inside track on the figures to hold and those to pass on. Yeah, possibly. I'm sorry though, that rifle just gets to me, and it would have been real easy for them to put something on the declaration of the shovel. That's true. Steven says, do you ever think they will make the October Guard next HasLab? I don't think so. See, because it's not so much the concept or the characters of October Guard, it's the fact of where they come from, which is how G.I. Joe or the Joe team has to really figure out how to utilize them in today's time. So it's not so much the characters, it's just their origins that makes it a bit tough, in my opinion. Flaming Crow, welcome to the chat. Good to see you here, brother. He's a legend. We've seen Solo Sinner and Flaming Crow, Ionic Blood, Antonio, Russell, so many legends here. Joshua, oh my god, sorry if I didn't mention your name, but you guys, freaking amazing. Stigma, Sabotage, Liquid Identity. Man, so many Tagworm, Crimson, Victor, Benny, like Couch Boy, G.I. Joe, Jose, Benedict. Did I say Benedict? Zombie, Russell. I mean, so many amazing people here on tonight's stream, man. And now let's talk about the latest hoopla in Classified. So those were the 4 figures that went up for pre-order. Thank God we finally don't have to talk about those anymore because I was getting burnt out. So let's move on to some new crap. What do you guys think about the latest leaked G.I. Joe Classified Ramp Rats 2-pack? Dear Lord, the fact that Hasbro has remained silent on this 2-pack in 2 weeks and have not shared anything about this, and having this being leaked somewhere in overseas on some Asian website. Holy moly. Now, it's very easy for collectors or even any collector in general to get confused in the sense of, because we have a lot of AI renders. We have people, creating their own characters and stuff. So I was a bit skeptical on how this 2-pack was real. Was it fake? Because I was really waiting for, official confirmations. But then, the more product shots came out, I was like, yeah, it's definitely real. So let me ask you guys in the chat, for those who actually ordered the HasLab Rattler. I keep saying Rattler. How do you guys feel knowing that? So, based off previous comments on the video that I made about this, people are saying, because I have the HasLab, these will definitely help. Because I don't have the HasLab, I can just buy these and utilize these as mechanics for other Cobra vehicles. And then others are saying, I don't have the HasLab, and I can just buy these for background Cobra characters. And then, what was I saying? And then, some people who have the HasLab are like, I have to buy this. And then some are saying that these are just kit bashed ketchup and mustard figures and kind of create FOMO from the failed HasLab Sky Striker figures that didn't come to existence. The O-Ring Sky Striker that had the same concept, but this is for the Rattler. And then some people were saying that why didn't the Dragonfly get additional recruits? So if I were to share my two cents, and maybe you guys can agree or disagree with me on this, so the HasLab Hiss Tank got the 788 fire team, and then they also got the red Techno Viper. Then the Dragonfly didn't get anything. However, if I were to remember the one of the streams, Lenny was saying that you could utilize, Hawk for your Dragonfly. You can utilize the Steel Core. You can utilize Airborne. You can utilize the Night Force. What's his name? Spider. What was the name? I forgot. Wolf Spider. And then you can use all your Night Force characters with that Dragonfly. So I think they were trying to emphasize that you're not getting pilots or other ground crews for the Dragonfly because you already have all these other Night Force and characters I just mentioned. But then we have this Rattler where in an entire year we didn't get anything because we had just the patches. A lot of people were saying this should have took place of the patches instead, but then that would have probably increased the price, or I don't know. But yeah, this would have easily been ideal to remove the patches and then give us at least one of these, maybe. Imagine if one of the tiers for the Rattler was one of these figures, but the extra accessories was the red and yellow vest. Imagine one of the tiers was the guy wearing the yellow vest, but an additional accessory was the red vest. That would have been freaking insane. I don't know about the whole crate thing, but I guess it's a cool incentive for that matter because you do have the hooks and stuff. But then we have the the HasLab Snowcat, and we already have all those other snow characters that they're heavily focusing on this year, hopefully. So the fact that a year later we finally got something for the HasLab Rattler vehicle, it's crazy, but at least they got some kind of ground crew because we got like pilots and stuff. We got the pilot for one of the tiers for the Rattler and all that stuff, so pretty cool. Now let's read the comments. Joshua says the goal for tonight's stream should be 86 in honor of Chuck. Oh my god, you're absolutely right. Okay, because tonight's stream was dedicated to Chuck Norris, for those who came in late, I did do a Chuck Norris brief tribute. Because Chuck Norris passed away at the age of 86, let's try to get to 86 likes on tonight's stream, if that's even possible, hopefully. That would be really cool because we're at 67 right now. Hopefully 86 isn't too far. So let's do it in honor for Chuck Norris. Let's get to 86 likes for tonight's stream. So thank you, Joshua, for reminding me about that. That was cool. Stigma says thumbs up. Benny says awesome, donate. Antonio says bring it. Couchboy says yes. Russell says, honestly, this is the one stream we can interact with each other. Most of the others I get on don't do that. Thank you so much, Russell. That is a very nice comment. I appreciate that. I mean, I don't know what goes on other YouTuber streams, but that's very heartwarming to hear that everyone can interact with each other on my live stream. So that's really cool. As I always say, when we stream here, I give everyone the attention that they deserve. So I appreciate, I try to, interact with everyone as much as possible. Jerk says meh. Flaming Crow says I really like them. Benny says October Guard will probably be hidden behind HasLabs or Hasbro exclusives. Joshua says since I have the Rattler, I'm in. Russell says, I might actually get this for my Rattler. By the way, Russell, since you were having a shitty week, I hope the stream is making you feel better. Couchboy says, finally a freaking crate. Taylor Swift takes a... So crates are awesome. Stigma says, weapons look okay. Benny says, the stream was nice and early. Yeah, I don't even... I always put my streams for around 8 p.m. Eastern. For some reason, it always gives it like an 11 p.m. like West Coast timing. I don't know what the hell the settings are. Like, it always messes up. So always remember that my streams will always be around 8, 8:30, 8:15 around their Eastern time. So Russell says, if I miss it, I'm okay with it. Victor says, hey, Shark, ever think about selling SHARKNEWZ t-shirt merch? I would rock a shirt. I mean, if the demand is there, I can create shirts, but... I don't know. I mean, I haven't really thought about it, but if people want t-shirts or merch, I can definitely create them. That's not an issue. It's just I feel like if I start creating merch, people are going to be like, oh, he's creating merch. I don't know. So I don't know. If the demand is there, I can definitely do it. But that really means a lot to me that you would rock a SHARKNEWZ shirt. I think somebody told me like way back before that having the word news on a t-shirt like wouldn't sell well, but I don't know. But yeah, let me know. If you're interested, I can create something for you. Antonio says, brother, there's passion line here. Antonio says, bet. Joshua says, you're confirming Taylor Swift is a what? All right, so Taylor Swift conversations. Needs mayo or barbecue sauce variant. Liquid says lack of paint apps. Awful weapons exclusivity, just bad. My Rattler doesn't need them. Benny says, I like the Ramp Rats 2-pack. I have some Rattlers as they need to fill the gap on the runway. Yeah, I mean, I think this looks cool because for me personally, because I don't have either, I'm just like, even if I were to have them, my Rattler would be probably hanging in the air, but then I don't do like dioramas and I don't have like a really great classified display. They're all like in vanilla poses. So I see the picture and I see the idea of where this is going, but I would hate to buy these and then just shove them on a shelf where they're not like, unless I had like a really cool like aircraft base like display or something. But, I'm not that creative, at least in this toy collecting world. Stigma says, hopefully the vests come off. Oh, that's a good question. I mean, good comment, but I don't think they come off though. If they do, that would be really great. Irish or John Brooks says exactly what you are saying, dude. I have the Rattler and Actually glad this set is coming, by the way. I got my His Tank last week. So excited. Cool. Congratulations to John Brooks, who just got his His Tank, man. I hope you enjoy it. Jerk says, Retro Trooper. Victor V says, this is the 2-pack, will look amazing with the Rattler. I think it would get 2, maybe 3 sets of these guys. Antonio says, I hope they make these available wherever toys are sold. I think these are $60, if that's what the rumor is, $60. But we'll see what happens. Let's wait for Hasbro to make an official announcement, you know, like an hour before it goes up for pre-order. So, Danhausen might be in the crate. Boo! Nobody likes Danhausen. Mechanical cart would have been better choice. I mean, I do like the fact that you can put like the hooks. You know, I just don't know where the other hook is attached to. A lot of people are saying that you can. There's like a latch on the bottom of the Rattler that attaches to the crate of the hooks, or like. So I don't know if I'm pointing at the screen like you guys can see it, but you see those 2 silver rods there, so the hooks can attach to those. But then the other hook that you see that's on the top where the bald red ramp rat dude is, people were saying that actually hooks to the Rattler like on the bottom. Now I don't know if that's true or not, but you guys let me know, like that could be a possibility. So, someone left a comment before on one of my videos saying like, is there going to be anything inside the crate? Now, if you look at the official G.I. Joe photography for these, they have like the wood chips, and the wood chips have all the weapons and stuff. Now, if you have like 5 or 10 of these, like, you know, like, yeah, this will be great for like the Cobra bunkers, or, you know, like you have your whole like Cobra display, and then you have like the Cobra troopers like getting their weapons out of the crates and stuff, which is, you know, it's really sick. Like it's a really cool idea. But because it only comes with 1, and then on top of that, it's probably like a $60 2-pack or more, I don't know at the moment, it's just going to be empty. So it's like you kind of have to go to your local arts and crafts store or go to Michael's, and then, you know, you go to your arts and craft stores, and then you buy your own little wood chips, and then you place your, like, if you're into all that crap. But it's probably going to be like a hollow empty box, just like how they created the sandbags for the porta potties that came with the Trench Viper. So it's a really neat idea, but it's just, this is one of those things where if you're very hardcore into collecting and you want to have like a really cool display, then I would say at least 5 of these would look sick. But yeah. Let's see here. Steven says mechanical cart would have been better choice than a crate. You mean like have wheels like on the bottom that would come out, I guess? That would be interesting. Couchboy, or no, yes, Couchboy says a night in whatever new Game of Thrones commercial, I'm getting 5 spammed. Couchboy, man, you're getting wrecked over there. Antonio says Chuck Norris once faced down a Terradrome. It packed up and flew back to Cybertron. Yo, Chuck Norris can go inside a Terradrome, and then, I don't know, he can make everyone surrender. That's probably like the worst joke I ever said, but hey, man, rest in peace, Chuck Norris, man. I miss you. Yep, it's a good evening now. I'm glad, man. I'm glad you had a good time, Russell. Couchboy says end of Duke discussion. Okay, good. Let's keep it there. Steven says, I would buy a shirt to help fund your channel. Well, thank you guys so much, man. That really does mean a lot to me. Thank you, Steven. Or Steve. I appreciate that. It's a very nice comment. So yeah, I mean, maybe I'll think about merch at some point, because you guys are already spending all your money on your, you know, your action figures and all your other collecting and stuff. The last thing I want to do is have you guys spend more money on my merch and stuff. I would hate for you guys to like spend additional dollars on, you know, SHARKNEWZ merch, but I'll think about it, and I'll definitely put it in consideration. Rat's poor name should be Crate Crew 3D print runway. That would be interesting. The crates are worth 150 alone. I mean, you can literally create your own crates. Create your own crate. Create the crates at your local Michael's store. Just buy a bunch of wooden boxes, like jewelry boxes, and call it a day. DJC says you think the connectors would be on the lid and not at the bottom. Oh, interesting. I mean, I'm not an expert on crates, so I guess whoever knows about this would probably be better at answering that one. Let's see. Hasbro has no imagination for the couch boy, but that would just be awesome. Honda Lu, definitely. We still have to get Snake Eyes with his yellow blonde hair and his dress, with his breakdancing dress from the animated series. You get enough crates to shoot out scenes between the Joes and Cobras with blast effects, only going to be amazing. I mean, there's a very good chance that because they already have the tooling for these crates, we can most likely 100% get a green version of these, because what was it? Whatever that steel core figure that came with the other the Joe the porta potty, the surveillance, what was it? The surveillance port or something like that? I don't know what the hell that thing was called. The one that's similar to the Trench Viper and his porta potties or whatever. They had the Joe version of that one, right? So they're definitely going to create at least a green version of this one. So we should definitely expect that at some point. You got enough? Oh, I read that already. Antonio, hood and crates. Mustard is hooked on kratom. So one of the things that I really, I will say that it's cool that at least the Joe team is giving us like different heads or different, I guess you can say, like, one guy is bald, one guy is like buzz cut. So at least there's some type of versatility, or like some type of, different design choices, and they're not like all looking the same. So I think that's pretty cool. Maybe one could have been sleeveless or something. I don't know. But someone did mention, and it totally like, went over my head to see like, yeah, these are actually Lowlight's legs. So we've seen Lowlight's legs be used before. I think they were used on the Night Force Quick Kick figure as well. So once you once you already have them in hand, like, you can kind of already know how the articulation is going to be. So that's why when I do my G.I. Joe classified reviews, I don't really show articulation, because let's be real, they all bend the same, so it doesn't really make any difference. I like to talk about detail, aesthetics, colors, and all that good stuff. So, all right. So other than that, I'm sure we'll come back to these guys at some point, because Hasbro hasn't even officially confirmed any of this yet. But we will definitely, have some fun with these guys in the future. So do keep in mind, this is not the end of this 2-pack. So we will definitely talk more about these soon. Pay them benefits. Hold on. BD Bonsai, welcome to the chat, man. It's good to have you back. Or were you here before? I think you just got on. So he says, I would totally buy a shark shirt. Oh man. All right, I'll definitely think about it for the long run for sure. Pay them for benefits. They make impossible for me to get on Pulse. Does the carpet match the crate? What? Baldy guy? I don't know. Oh, David Allen, welcome to the stream. Says hello, Shark. Welcome, David. Good to have you here. David does the G.I. Joe Classified news. Cool channel, cool guy. Much respect, brother. Good to have you here. All right, so yeah, we'll come back to the Ramp Rats at some point once we get more Hasbro crap or official confirmations. When it comes to the upcoming 2026 events so far, let's roll back to the month of February and see how far we've come so far, because as you guys know, this is the first year within my 5 years of actually finally having a list of things that, they're events, because I've been making G.I. Joe news since 2020, and I've never once wrote down all the lists of, the events, but now I'm finally getting an idea of when we can expect figures, the pre-orders, and different events and all that good shit. So on February 1st, G.I. Joe Day, we got 8 digital renders. February 12th or February 11th and 12th, we also got the reveal of Don Marino, who also went up for pre-order already. So that was like a quick, she just came and went out of nowhere. So that was pretty interesting. Then Toy Fair happened on February 14th, and then we got our later reveals of Sundown, ROTTCLAW, Diretech, and more. Then on the 17th, we had the Royal Guard pre-order, and then as well as the other latest pre-orders as well. Then recently on the 17th of March, we had Zanya and Professor ROTTCLAW. So basically an entire month from February 17th to March 17th, we had absolutely nothing until the 17th where Zanya and ROTTCLAW and pre-order came in. And then on the 19th, we had Walmart's CollectorCon, which is the Night Creeper Diretech and the 250th Duke, which, caused some kind of an uproar to some collectors. Now, at the time of making this video, it is March 23rd, which means we have a long way until YoJoe June. So, what does that really mean? Because we'll talk more about San Diego Comic-Con and MCM New York and CCXP and all that other crap later. But what does that really mean? So, at least sometime within from March 23rd, April and May, the G.I. Joe team has to at least give us a couple of new pre-orders and a couple of new reveals and a couple of something, because it's already March and the G.I. Joe team has not done a fan stream event at the time of making this video. They have not done any fan stream event. They have not celebrated the 250th anniversary Duke figure or did some kind of video to promote it. Other than Toy Fair, they have gone absolutely silent on the YouTube world or just in general of doing something, because Transformers, Marvel Legends, even Star Wars, I think, got all their fan stream events already, like at least 2 or 3 at this point, and the G.I. Joe team has not given us anything yet. I mean, granted that they are, having figures going up for pre-order and all that stuff, which is really cool, but part of being a G.I. Joe fan is also to see the people behind the brand and, talk about what's coming up, what we can expect and all this and that, but it seems like the YouTubers are pretty much doing all their jobs for them, so it is what it is. So we'll update this list and hopefully we'll get some type of fan stream in the next month or two, because hopefully something in April and May before we head to YoJoe June, because YoJoe June is going to be hopefully 4 weeks of stuff, so we'll see what happens with that. And then as for coming soon figures, which are the confirmed figures so far, we've already talked about Iceberg. We knew Deep Six was teased on Hydro Viper's photography, and then Shebang was revealed on the Adventures of Collecting podcast, at least just name only. So we are still stuck with these 3 for now. We haven't had any new name reveal at the moment, so I don't know. We'll see. I mean, you guys let me know in the comments, who do you guys want to see coming next, because honestly all of my favorite figures have roughly been made already. I had Shipwreck, Kamakura, Hawk, Slice and Dice, who else? Copperhead, Shadow Tracker, Spirit, Lowlight, Sci-Fi, Mainframe, which I don't really like, so I'm not going to get him because I think that figure sucks. And Hydro Viper is already out, so it's really not much more to me to look forward to, other than maybe Muskrat, Psych Out, the blue version, the character Tracker, and then who else am I looking for? Toxo Viper, Cesspool, probably Voltar. So there's quite a few, but not like super mandatory. All right, let's see what else. Let's go back to the chat real quick. Story of my life, man. I pay for memberships to buy these and they sell out. Mustard is hooked on Kratums. I would totally buy a shark shirt. Oh, did I read that already? I would buy a Viper crate for $60. Yep, the crates need to be Dragonfly. Pay them benefits they make impossible. Does the carpet... oh, I read this already. Hold on. Where am I going? Passing on these, but they're cool. SHARKNEWZ stickers. That would be nice. So we only need 10 more likes to get to 86. Come on, let's help Chuck Norris here. My 14-year-old asked me who Chuck Norris was. Says Victor had to YouTube the fight scene between him and Bruce Lee, one of the classic movie fights of all time. Yeah, I mean, just to quickly segue, when Chuck Norris fought Bruce Lee in that scene, that like that one fight where Bruce Lee actually grabbed his chest and pulled out his chest hair, that was wild, man. That was wild. Antonio says, "Can we get 86 likes for Chuck Norris?" Yeah, we're almost there, man. We're almost there. We're at 77 right now, in honor of Chuck. Let's see here. That was classic Victor. Remember watching as a young kid. Joshua says, "I once was at someone's house who had a photo they took of the Coliseum. I said, hey, that's where Bruce Lee fought Chuck Norris. They didn't find it funny." Oh, man. I would have been ecstatic to see that kind of photo. Russell says, something tells me that they will hit a ton of stuff between June and San Diego Comic-Con. Then the next shows after that will be prototype reveals. Yeah, I agree. Couchboy says, Joe sells no promos. They don't need to advertise. They don't still sell out. Yeah, that's very true. They better have Flash. Yeah, Flash, Grand Slam, still need those at some point. Larry Hama 221, Snake Eyes version 3. That would be a cool one. Raid Voidstorm later tonight. Yeah, I'm actually, after the stream's over, I'm gonna do a Chuck Norris marathon for sure. I gotta watch a lot of, like, Delta Force. I gotta watch The Octagon. I'm gonna watch. I'm not really a fan of Sidekicks. That wasn't really one of my favorite Chuck Norris films. It was a fine film, but not really one of my favorites. Apparently, a lot of people like it, but I'm not. What else movies did he do? Of course, Lone Wolf, McQuaid, really good one. I'm still hoping for High Tech. Oh, High Tech would be sick, says Merging Line. Venomous Maximus, yes. If Austin Brooks is still here in the chat, he did a really cool AI render of Venomous Maximus. That was really, really cool. We need all those figures. Keel Hall, Cutter, yeah. But how would you guys feel if they reveal the Cutter without the whale? Would you guys still buy a whale? I mean, buy a Cutter without the whale, or would you say no? I want Cutter to come with the whale. Couchboy says Hooded Cobra Commander. Yeah, I mean, who knows where? Right now, I've seen a lot of people customize the Monster Force. Oh, Monster Force, yeah, Monster Force with that the blue agent with the Hooded Cobra Commander head with their retro Cobra Commander, and that actually looks very, very well together. Like the blues are rough. Like the blues are a little bit different, but they're very, very close. October Guard Battle. Oh, of course. Thank you, Flaming Crow. Battle Force 2000. 49er Brian, what's going on, man? It's good to have you here. Look at all those shark emojis. Good to have you, brother. 4 more. Yeah, we have 4 more likes, man. 4 more likes from 86. Yeah, tonight is definitely dedicated to Chuck Norris, man. Skyfall, welcome to the chat, man. It's good to have you here. It says missing in action. Yes, you're absolutely right about that one. 49er says Chuck Norris can look directly at the sun and the sun turns away. Or Chuck Norris was born in the hospital that he built. Oh, okay. But last but not least, let's take a look at the group of figures that we have so far. Now, for those that are completely unaware of what's happening within the classified line, we know that YouTubers who are doing YouTuber reviewers already have like Taurus and Reddog being reviewed right now. And that's about it, right? Those are like the only 2. Oh, the Action Soldiers are being found in Walmarts already. I've seen a lot of photos of people finding their Action Soldiers, and that figure has not even been up for pre-order just yet. However, collectors are finding those already in store, so that's completely baffling. So, and Hasbro has not made any word on that just yet. So, can you imagine already finding the Legacy Series Action Soldier on your shelves at Walmart? I think it's like a $42 price point. And Hasbro hasn't even announced the figure for pre-order yet. Like that's crazy, man. And then we still have the Snake Eyes with the ATV and Viper Flight Pod, which is a 2-pack. That was revealed back at Toy Fair. We haven't seen official product shots of those just yet, but we have seen, them on display. So we'll see how that turns out. Other than that, we have seen the we just talked about the Ramp Rats 2-pack, but we'll get to those once they reveal more information from Hasbro Pulse. As for the other figures, I think Taurus and Reddog might be the next figures up for pre-order because according to sources like Jedi Jaybird, oh, speaking of Jedi Jaybird, I don't know if you guys were aware because I did not do a video on this, but according to him in Full Force, they shared that a $60, what was it, $60, or no, a new figure that's coming with the pet has been arriving in the U.S. and right now it's undetermined of which one that is at the moment. So we'll come back to that in another time. And then we have the what was it, the Arctic 3-pack, which has not been any information given just yet in regards to pre-order or how much those will be. Then we have the Arctic Driver and Arctic His Tank, which will be out this year in November or December of 2026. And then we have the HasLab Snowcat, Flint, Lady Jaye, and Frostbite figures. So, yeah, I mean, so I think the next round of pre-order, I think according to who, I forgot, somebody said it that the Ramp Rats will be available for pre-order in April, or I think the Ramp Rats will be, I don't know, I think it was April, I'm not sure. But then, yeah, I think Taurus and Reddog will be the next set of pre-orders to come out soon because we already knocked out Zanya and Professor ROTTCLAW, which were at Toy Fair. And, of course, Sundown was already up for pre-order as well. So we pretty much knocked out a good chunk of these. So I'm really hoping that we, we get to this at some point. So, yeah. So let's see here. Quinn, yeah. Chuck Norris didn't flush. He just scared the shit out of the toilet. That's funny. Antonio says those streamers are buying overseas. Nothing special about that. It's not a flex. I mean, it helps with views, I guess. If you want to be first in line, I guess that works for them. Steve says, glad I can make a live stream second one. Well, I'm glad that you're able to be here, Steve. We'll definitely have more streams for sure in the future, so thank you so much for joining. Destro says, greedy bastards. 49er says, I'm not happy about $60 for Zanya. I think even Taurus and Reddog are going to be $60 too, so we'll see how that turns out. Icebox Terry, someone said pack rats. I think they're ramp rats, right? Yeah, the ramp rats. Antonio says, the 788 Flight Pod and Snake Eyes ATV is a hard one for me because I have a fair amount of 788 fire teams. Well, I mean, if you're a big fan of the Flight Pod, Trouble Bubble, sure. And I think that Viper has like a new color scheme. If I remember from the Toy Fair, the color scheme was a bit hard to tell because the dome plastic piece was red, I think. So I think it's like a red Viper or like a gray Viper, I think. I don't know. I don't remember. But the Snake Eyes is going to be a tough one just because the Snake Eyes one is a tough one because it has like green pants and it kind of resonates to, I think it was like a 2014 Snake Eyes, or it was one of those TV show animated series Snake Eyes, not the original cartoon, the one that came later with the green goggles. So that's going to be a very tough one in the sense of will it just, because like, I don't know, man. Like an ATV is cool, vehicles are fine, but then you're getting another Snake Eyes, and the Vipers, you can always get more Vipers, but getting another Snake Eyes, if this happens to be a 2-pack, a vehicle 2-pack with both figures, and yeah, I'm assuming it'll probably be like at least $70 or some shit. We are at 85 likes right now. Oh my god, we're almost celebrating Chuck Norris's birthday. Oh, it's not birthday, my god. We're celebrating the honor of Chuck Norris, so for 86 likes. The Loneliest Monk says, I heard that Iron Grenadier Destro is coming. Iron Grenadier Destro is going to be a tough one. I mean, if he is coming, that's great. If not, then I'm sure we'll have Awesome Russell. Don't worry, we're almost done. It'll be nice to have Iron Grenadier Destro kind of be like the finale because there's already so many other Iron Grenadiers that they need to make. Because we have Voltar, we have Targat, Who else do we have? Who am I missing? But yeah, there's quite a few more Iron Grenadiers that they definitely have to make. So it would be nice if Destro kind of is like the ending of it, although people would probably want him sooner than later. But Joshua says we did it. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, congratulations. We officially hit 86 likes. We've definitely paid homage and honor to our beloved Chuck Norris, the live action G.I. Joe hero that hopefully we all know and love. So thank you guys so much for doing the 86 likes for tonight's stream. That I am completely honored. Chuck would definitely be proud of you guys. He would definitely bow and salute. He would definitely appreciate this because I'm a huge Chuck Norris fan. I did a tribute to him on my other toy channel if you want to go ahead and check that out. But man, like losing him is such a big blow. So tonight's stream was definitely dedicated to him, and I'm very grateful for you guys to join tonight's stream. Scott Mora, welcome to the chat. 2 figures, 2 small vehicles. I'm betting it'll be 125 to 150. Yeah, I would say maybe at least 90 to 100 bucks. I think 100 would be least at that point because the what is it? The snake armor was like 80 or 90, 80 something. I don't know. I don't remember. But yeah, so other than these figures that we have, once again, the coming soon Iceberg Deep Six versus T's and Chibang Ninja Force. And then as of right now, we don't have any other fan streams yet. But if the Hasbro team decides to give us something, that would be absolutely incredible. So I think we will definitely conclude tonight's stream with this because we definitely this is again for Chuck Norris, our beloved live action G.I. Joe. He would definitely be proud for all of you guys for not just joining tonight's stream, but remembering him, remembering how much of a great person he was, being a veteran as well, great martial artist, great person, always positive, great everything. I mean, that guy was he was incredible. Because remember, I'm going to leave off the stream with this one cool... do you guys remember in the Expendables movie where all the hard-hitting live-action heroes of the 80s and roughly 90s were together in that one scene on the street? And then Chuck Norris was the one that saved all their asses, and then Sylvester Stallone, whatever his character's name was, he told Chuck to join him, and Chuck said, he said, I once got bitten by a venomous snake, and then the snake died 5 days later. And then, he asked him, why don't you come join us or whatever? And Chuck was like, no, I work alone. That is freaking badass, dude. Chuck says, nope, I am a lone wolf, man. Freaking badass. That will show you how iconic and a legend that Chuck Norris is, because he didn't join that team. He said, I work alone. He's like, you suckers are on your own. Otherwise, thank you guys all for watching. Thank you for supporting the channel. Thank you for being here on tonight's Monday stream. You guys could have been doing anything good or even better, but you guys decided to spend it with me, so I deeply appreciate that. So thank you guys. I'll have more videos in the future if the Hasbro team decides to put out more stuff. But yeah, thank you guys once again for all the legends here on tonight's stream. Thank you guys. You guys all know who you are, and I really appreciate it. And thank you for all the channel donators. You guys are freaking amazing. Thank you guys so much. Yeah, I really do appreciate that. That really does mean a lot to me. So Christopher Bouchard, as well as Solo Sinner, thank you for donating to the channel. And I'll see you guys all in the next stream. And happy collecting. Stay safe. Hug your loved ones. Fill up your gas because the gas prices are about to go up. I'll see you guys all in the next stream. And like BD Bonsai says,